Okay, so good morning all. Welcome back to the class here. So in today's class, we will be discussing about node analysis and super node, right, and related problems. And in the last class, we have discussed about mesh analysis, super mesh, right, and related problems. Okay, so if you check out the things regarding here. So in the mesh analysis, we have come across mainly how to identify the mesh in a given circuit. So if you have some elements connected in the given circuit, so we were able to decide whether it is mesh 1 or mesh 2. So numbers can vary. So after identifying the mesh, so we have defined the mesh current, and we should take care that one mesh, if it is traversing one complete closed path, so the same path should not be traversed by the other mesh. Okay, so this we have done already, and we have come across the super mesh concept also. So super mesh, it exists whenever the current source is in between current source in between two mesh, right? So we have solved that also by using first step is what you have to define the constraint equation. This you can do it by observation method or by KCL. And if you are doing it by KCL, select the node where minimum number of currents are meeting. Okay, so then after removing that current source, what we do, so the entire mesh, what we get, combined mesh, so there we apply the KVL. Okay, so related problems with respect to dependent and independent, we have done the same thing again. We will see it in the AC analysis also. So the excitation here, what we have done, so all these are with respect to DC analysis. DC source means they are the fixed values, something like 5 volts or 10 volts. Any other frequency component is not involved here. Okay, so again these things will be repeated with respect to AC analysis also. So there you will get more perfection also. So as I have told you, please change the values. So if I have taken something like 2 ohms here, 3 ohms, 4 ohms, so while practicing, you change the voltages and resistive values and practice it. Okay, so now coming to today's topic, so we will be discussing about node and super node analysis. Okay, and we already know what is a node. So if you think about the node, we know already a node is a point where more than one branch are meeting. Okay, so if this is one branch having some resistor, some voltage source, okay, and if you have some resistor here, and if you have another resistor, another DC source, and in parallel to this if you have something like some current source, so we know all these points are same, they are the meeting points, so these are the nodes. So we can say this is a common node. Coming to the topic here, so nodal analysis. So what do we do in the nodal analysis? So first, in a given circuit, so you will be asked to find the node voltages. So before starting with the actual problems and all, first you have to be very clear about two things. One is called as reference node. Second one is about non-reference nodes. Nodes or node. Okay. So what is this reference node here? This reference node, it is also referred as something like datum node also, or it is sometimes also called as ground, and it is usually indicated with this symbol or with this symbol or only with this symbol also. So in the examination, if you get any of these three symbols, so you should recognize it as the ground or reference node. So if they do not give, then by looking at the circuit, you should select the reference node. Okay. So usually this is taken with respect to as a reference node. And what about non-reference node? So non-reference nodes are the points. These are the points where all branches are meeting in a given circuit. In a given circuit. Okay. So if you check out this given circuit, just a minute, hold on. Okay, so sorry for the interruption. Okay, so fine. So I was talking about okay, so this non-reference node. So now coming to this circuit here, if you study this circuit, so you should select a point or a node as a reference node where maximum components, I repeat, maximum components are meeting at a same point. So that means, so you can see how many components are there. We have first one current source, second one 2 amps, third one 6 ohm resistor, fourth one 7 ohm resistor, fifth one 4 amp source. So here what you have to do is, first you have to check out of 5 elements. We see that here this point is common. Out of 5, 4 are meeting here. So it is always better to take this as a reference node. Okay. Then you should check other points also, other meeting points. So this point number 1 here. So here 3 elements are meeting or 3 components are meeting. So you can name it as per your convenient as point number 1. And here the same condition, this I can call it as point number 2. So these 1 and 2, they are referred as non-reference nodes. Okay. So that means, so if I want to measure the voltage from this point, so I require another point. So we know potential, to measure the potential difference, we require 2 points. So out of that, one will be common, that we call it as ground. Okay. So another one will be the reference, non-reference point. Okay. So here, if I want to measure the voltage with respect to point 1, so I can measure from 1 to 2 also, and 1 to ground also. Okay, so if you want to measure the voltages from 1 and 2, so you have two options. But specifically, if I want to know the exact voltage from point 1, so then I can take it from with respect to point 1 to ground. Okay, 1 to 2 it will be different again, right? So this is the condition here what we are doing. So we need to identify these things first, then we can go for the nodal analysis. So quickly, what you have to do first, you have to identify the reference node, then followed by non-reference node. And reference node is the point where maximum components meet. Okay, so this is the other point where uh, other branches are meeting, or other the same components are meeting at other points. Okay, so this is how you have to consider this. Okay, so considering all these parameters, now if I ask you to say, for example, in the same circuit, if I may ask the question like, using nodal analysis, calculate or evaluate the voltages V1 and V2. Okay, so sometimes they may give you the points like 1 and 2, otherwise you should be able to recognize few points here. Okay, you can call instead of x and y also, instead of 1 and 2. Okay, so now coming back to this, just a minute. So if I ask that question, then how to proceed for these things? So now if you check out the few options here, so you need to follow the few steps. So first, step number one is what? Step number one is you should select a node as a reference node. So that I have shown you in the previous slide. Okay, so other than reference node, the other remaining nodes, so there you can assign the voltages as V1, V2 till Vn minus 1. So suppose here comes one interesting property. So if you have something like around 5 nodes, if you have 5 nodes in a given circuit, so out of 5 nodes, one node if you keep it for as a reference node, remaining 4 nodes will be non-reference node. So this indicates what? This indicates n minus 1, where n value is equal to 5. Okay, so this is how you have to follow the step. So step number 3. Step number 3 is, say suppose if I have identified some V1, V2, V3 and somewhere like V4, 4 nodes in a given circuit. So there then you need to apply the KCL to each of the n minus 1 non-reference nodes. Okay, so again here you can follow in two ways, whichever is convenient for you. So you can follow that. I will tell you with the help of a problem itself. Then once you write, so once you have identified, so you may be getting the conditions like this. So this indicates that the 3 components are associated with V4, 4 components are connected, 2 components and 3 components. Okay, so after that, after writing the KCL equation, then you have to solve for the resulting simultaneous equations. So in the mesh analysis we have used the KVL, here we need to use KCL. Okay, coming to the same problem here. So what I have taken, so once the circuit is given to you, so first step is what? You have to identify the reference node, first step. Then you have to identify the second step, the non-reference nodes, right? So you can label the voltages as V1 and V2. It is not mandatory to label like V1, V2, V3 only. You can like write like a Vx, Vy, Vz also. Okay. So if there are plenty of nodes, then it is better to use V1, V2 and V3 and so on. Okay. Now, third step is what? So if I ask you to calculate the voltages V1 and V2. So first two steps are over. Third step will be step number 3 is to apply KCL to non-reference nodes. Okay. So if I take the KCL at V1, so if I apply KCL at V1, so first you make a picture in your mind how that V1 is getting the currents. So I can write it here. So if I consider this as V1, so here you can see there are 3 branches coming out of that. So I can write 1, 2 and 3. So out of that one current we know already, it is the incoming current, right? So then what about this 2 ohm resistor, and here we have 6 ohms. Okay. So if they do not give any current direction, so you can assume that all as outgoing currents. So these are the assumed current, assumed direction. Okay, is that clear to you, everyone? So now blindly now already they have given this direction. So if you assume that this is also outgoing current for a while, okay, all currents as outgoing currents. So if I apply KCL, so first method I will show you. I will write it here. Method number 1, with the same directions if you assume. So I have 1 ampere current coming here, then I have this 6 ohms, right? So this is node number 1. Next, now if you consider another resistor here, that is 2 ohms. So this is the condition here. So now if I want to apply KCL at V1, first method is, so 2 currents are not known to us, the direction. So I will assume them as outgoing current. Okay. So according to this, what I will get is incoming current is 1 and outgoing currents are this one. If I assume as something like I6 and this as I2, we have I6 plus I2. This is 1 ampere. 1 will be equal to I6. Now assumed direction is what? From left to right. Left to right. So you have to write the equation for current. I is equal to what? I equal to V by R. So here it will be V1 minus V2 divided by 6 plus what is I2? So I2 is this current. It is connected to ground. So this is ground. Ground potential means it will be 0. So it will be like V1 minus 0 you can write, or simply you can write V1 divided by 2. Okay. And this turns out to be as what now? We can write V1 multiplied by 1 by 6 plus 1 by 2 minus V2 multiplied by 1 by 6 equal to 1. Okay, this is the first method. Okay, so you can call it as equation 1. Please mute yourself. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, please mute yourself. Okay. Now, coming to the dear students, please mute yourself. I request. Okay, now coming to the second method. If you want to know about the second method for node V1 only. So if you apply KCL here, so what I will do is I will simply assume that all are outgoing currents. Okay, so here we know we have already 6 ohm resistor, here we have 2 ohm resistor, and here we have a current coming 1 amps. Okay, so for a while I will take it as I1, I2 and I3. Okay, then if you apply KCL here and if you write all as outgoing, see, please make sure that you have muted yourself, otherwise it will create some disturbance. Okay, so now what I will get is I will be getting I will be getting like I1 plus I2 plus I3. So if you write it, we get I1 plus I2 plus I3 equal to 0. So what is I1 actually? We have assumed the direction like this, but this current is flowing in opposite direction. So I can write it as minus 1 amps plus directly I will write V1. This is I2. V1 minus V2 divided by 6 plus V1 minus ground. Ground will be 0 divided by 2 equal to 0. And if you rewrite this equation, you will get back the same equation what is there in equation number 1. So this will be again what now? V1 minus V2 divided by 6 plus V1 by 2 equal to 1. So if you rewrite this, so what you get is the same thing. V1 multiplied by 1 by 6 plus 1 by 2, then minus V2 multiplied by 1 by 6 equal to 1. Okay, so both are same. So is that clear to everyone? If you have any questions, you can unmute and you may ask the questions. So I prefer this second method where we assume that virtually you have to assume that without any arrowhead here, all currents are outgoing currents. So similarly, if I write here KCL at V2, importance to the V2 node. So I can write it as something like V2 minus V1 divided by 6 plus V2 divided by 7 plus 4 equal to 0. And you can rearrange and you can write it as minus V1 by 6 plus V2 times 1 by 6 plus 1 by 7 equal to minus 4. So this you can call it as equation 2 and this one is equation 1. So again you can use the calculator and you can evaluate for V1 and V2. Okay. So is that clear to everyone how to approach for the nodal analysis? Okay, so kindly respond back. If you have any questions, please ask. Okay, so then shall we go to the next slide then? And if you calculate V1 and V2, you should get minus 2 volts and minus 14 volts. So I have mentioned it here. Please check. Okay. So now coming to the second example here. So if you come to this second example, here we have this circuit wherein we have a dependent source also. So if you look into the dependent source, so can anyone tell here what is Ix? How to define Ix? Okay, so can anyone tell me here what is Ix here now? How to define this Ix with respect to this circuit? Okay, Aditya. Okay, current controlled current source. That's fine. But what about Ix value? How to define Ix? Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. One of you, can you make an approach to define that Ix? Or you can put it in chat box also. How to define Ix? You need to define current. Current is always expressed with respect to as what? Ratio of voltage and resistance.
Sir,
And check the direction here of Ix, how it is directed. It is directed from point number 1 to point number 2, right? Okay, so it seems many are ideal here. Okay. Okay, see here. Now, with respect to this circuit, what we have is so here again everything is given. So they have already given the non-reference nodes and reference nodes, and the question will be something like this. You need to calculate V1, V2 and V3. So if you calculate, you should get these values. Okay, so I have just posted here the answers, but how to solve this? What should be the approach? So that I need. So can anyone guess here how to proceed for this now? Okay. Now see, whenever you get any dependent source like this, So first you make a note of that dependent source. First is you have to observe that dependent source. So according to the observation here, so we have a current controlled current source. We have a current controlled current source. So it is a current source which is controlled by current. Okay, but which is that parameter which is controlling? That is Ix, and where it is shown in the figure Ix. So it is shown here, right? So you have the Ix flowing from node number 1 to node number 2 with the 2 ohm resistor in between. So this they have given it as Ix. Now looking into the direction of the current and following the passive sign convention. So according to passive sign convention, current will flow from higher potential to lower potential. So that means you can assume that the voltage here, which will be V1 if you note it, and V2 here, with respect to the direction of current, V1 will be at positive potential, V2 will be at negative potential. So hence we can define Ix as what now? V1 minus V2 divided by 2. Okay, so is that clear to everyone? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
have any question on this, please let me know. Please respond back quickly if you have any questions. Otherwise, we have to proceed for further discussion. Okay. So this is the first point. What you have to make out observation. So what is the question here? You need to evaluate for V1, V2, and V3. So we have the nodes here V1, V2, and V3. Okay, and the same circuit has been repeated here for your reference with some current directions. Okay, suppose if they give current direction, then how to take that? So if they give some current direction, so you should start applying KCL from V1, V2 till V3. Okay, so now if I take it for KCL for V1, if you apply KCL at V1, so what I told you need to just imagine the how many branches are evaluating from that V1 node. So we know there are 3 branches which are going, branch number 1, 2, and 3. And if you have any direct current, so mark that direction. So it is 3. Okay, so according to the given direction, so what we have here is Ix, and here it is mentioned as I1, right? So how to write this? With respect to V1, we are writing. So if I write KCL at V1, then what I will get? So what I will get is, so there are 2 outgoing currents and 1 incoming current. So to avoid this confusion, what you can assume, all currents are as outgoing current. Okay. Okay, so if we go with respect to this notation, what I will get is incoming current is 3 and there are 2 outgoing currents I1 and Ix. So this will be 3 is equal to, what is I1, where it is flowing? It is flowing from V1 to V3, right? V1 to V3. So what you can do? So you can mention here like V1 minus V3 divided by 4 ohms plus what is Ix? Ix we know already, it is V1 minus V2 divided by 2. So if you rearrange and write down the equations in terms of V1, V2, V3, in terms of V1 what we get is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. In terms of V2 what we get is minus V2 by 2 and minus V3 by 4 equal to 3. So this we can call it as equation 1. Okay. Similarly, if you make an approach to apply the KCL at node 2, KCL at V2, so what is the condition here according to the given directions? So we have V2 here, but the direction of current is like this, Ix, then we have I3, then I2. Okay, if the directions are given, then no problem, we can go with respect to that. If it is not given, we assume that everything is outgoing current. Okay, and if specifically Ix is mentioned, so then according to that we have to adjust here. Okay, so if you write down what is the KCL equation here, so we have that is Ix and two outgoing currents, I2 and I3. So Ix we know already what it is. Ix is V1 minus V2 divided by 2. So, and what is I2? I2 direction, it will be like this. So that will be V2 minus V3 divided by 8. V2 minus V3 divided by 8. Okay. Then what we have is I3. So I3 is nothing but current which is flowing from node 2 to ground. Ground means 0. So you can write simply as V2 by 4. So this you can rearrange in terms of V1, V2 and V3, and that you can call it as equation number 2. Okay. Then similarly, if you apply the KCL at node 3, so here how to check out this? So what I will do is, again I will mark the nodes, and I have the currents I2, then current source Ix, then another current I1. So we see that here two currents are incoming currents and one current is outgoing current. So incoming currents are I1 and I2. Outgoing current is 2 times Ix. And I1 we know already what it is. It is V1 minus V3 divided by 4. V1 minus V3 divided by 4 plus what is I2? I2 is V2 minus V3 divided by 8. It is V2 minus V3 divided by 8 equal to 2 times Ix. So if you take 2 times Ix, so what I can write is 2 times V1 minus V2 whole divided by 2. In 2 you can cancel out. What you get is V1 minus V2 equal to this. So you can rearrange this and you can call it as equation number 3. Okay. Yes, is that clear to everyone here?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you have any sort of confusion or difficulties in understanding, please let me know. Okay, so can you rearrange those equations and solve and cross verify that? Are you getting V1, V2 and V3? So you have to do it in the same way. What I told you yesterday, you have to go to the calculator modes equation. Here we want 3 voltages V1, V2, V3. So you have to select 3 unknowns and put the values accordingly into the matrix form. Okay. Okay, so I will go to the next section here. So this one is another example here. So how to solve if you get a voltage source in between the two nodes? Okay, so here now you may get the voltage source in two ways. So first is you may have a voltage source in between any two non-reference nodes. Second case is you may get the voltage source in between a non-reference node and a reference node. Okay, so this will be a normal case. That means you may get a voltage source in between ground. This indicates between a reference node means ground and some node n. So you may get a dependent or independent voltage source. So that doesn't make any difference, right? Because what we can say here is Vn is equal to V volts only. Okay, but here if you consider voltage source in between any two non-reference nodes, so any two non-reference nodes, so for example, which are the two non-reference nodes here? So we have V1 and V2, right? So if you take V1 and V2, these are the two non-reference nodes, wherein if I ask you to calculate V1 and V2, so it will be difficult. You cannot say that V1 is minus 2 volts or V2 is plus 2 volts or V1 minus V2 is something else. Okay, so it will be difficult. So this kind of condition, what we get, so this is normally referred as super node. Okay, so wherein the two non-reference nodes, they cannot have the fixed voltages. Okay, so in order to solve, so if I ask you to solve this, so at the max you can apply KCL here, here and here. But when it comes to this point, it will be, you may write like V1 minus V2 equal to minus 2 and V2 minus V1 equal to plus 2, but later they will cancel out. Okay, so in your entire equation you may get the result as 0. So how to avoid or how to solve these problems? So what we do is, again what we did in super mesh, exactly reverse here. Okay, so we get a super node. So that is, a super node is formed by enclosing a dependent or independent voltage source connected between two non-reference nodes and any elements connected in parallel with it. Okay, so that means what? This condition, there are two non-reference nodes, so there is a voltage source connected, or it may have an element also. So if it is coming in between one element, so that is also a super node. Okay, so you have to consider the voltage source, check whether a voltage source is connected between two non-reference nodes. But here, in case if you have any resistor here, okay, so that will avoid the super node concept, because the potential will change. If I have some X ohms here, then what happens is we cannot say V1 minus V2 equal to this voltage. So there is another element. Okay, so if a resistor is there, then no need to worry, nothing like super node uh, or any other concepts here. Okay, so here you need to note a very key point. So what is that? We analyze a circuit with super nodes using the same three steps mentioned above, except that the super nodes are treated differently. Three steps means these three steps, what we have seen this, right? So we'll see that in detail anyhow. So basically three steps are, what we do is, this is very important here, please make this as 3 star, okay, as an important step. So what we do is, we have to take off all the voltage sources in a super node and apply KCL to super node. Okay, so you can make a note of this, because I will take back you to the next slide or previous slide here. Okay, so just make a note of these 3 steps. Then third step is what? You have to put the voltage source back to the nodes and apply KVL to relative loops. So note down these 2 steps, step number 1 and 2. Okay, so I hope we have noted down the steps here. Now coming to the actual circuit. So where we had that actual circuit, so we had this, right? Okay, so if you see that this 10 ohm resistor, it is connected in parallel with this 2 volt source. That means here also the voltage will be 2 volts. You can remove it. This you can call it as redundant, right? Okay, now according to the first step, what you have to do, you have to remove this voltage source and you call these 2 nodes as super node and apply the KCL, right? So how to do that here? So I will just rewrite this circuit here after removing the voltage source. What will happen? So if you remove this voltage source, so then where we had that voltage source, it was connected between V1 and V2. So we have removed that. So from there, from V1, if you take, from V1 we have 2 branches, from V2 we have 2 branches, right? So here we have a 2 amps current source coming here. It is grounded later. And here we have a 2 ohm resistor. It is also grounded. And here we have a 4 ohm resistor. It is also grounded. And here what we have is an outgoing current, that is 7 amps, which is also grounded. Now this combination, so what we are doing is, we are clubbing V1 and V2 and we are applying KCL there. So this node, what we have, this node is our super node. So if you apply KCL at super node, so according to the conventions, what they have given already I1 and I2. So we see that there are 3 outgoing currents and 1 incoming current. So incoming current is 2 amps. You can write 2 is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 7. So if you define what is I1, I1 is the current which is flowing from node V1 to the ground. So what we can write? It will be what now? V1 divided by 2. Or if you rearrange this term, so what I can get? I will get 2 minus I1 minus I2 minus 7 equal to 0, which is same as this equation. Okay. So is that clear to everyone? So at this point, if you have any confusions, please let me know. So first what we did, we identified that there is a voltage source in between V1 and V2, which are the two non-reference nodes, and we have removed that and we clubbed it, which looks like this. Okay. Then what we did, we according to the given circuit, we have taken the directions, right, and we have written the KCL equation. We are getting this. So after writing KCL equation, you can define what is I1 and I2. So what is I1? I1 is V1 by 2, and what is I2? I2 is V2 by 4 minus 7 equal to 0. You can call this as equation 1, or you can solve for what is this. You will get minus 5 here. You can take it to the other side. You will get plus 5. So that equation also you can call it as like V1 by 2 plus V2 by 4 equal to minus 5. So this you can call it as equation 1. So this equation, how we got it from super node. So here the two nodes have been already captured. So we are getting KCL at super node. But if you have any independent node, so suppose somewhere here, if you have any resistor connected, something like a voltage source is connected. So if you have like this, so you have to apply KCL again at this node also. Okay, at that time this will become an independent node. Okay, so if you consider this thing, then so let us not consider this. Anyway, we have this. So next step is what is asked. You have to put the voltage source back to the nodes and apply KVL to the relative loops. So the voltage source what we have removed, so we are taking it back. Okay, and notice that all other elements have been taken off. So this is called as, this KVL equation what we are writing, this is called as constraint equation. So you remember that yesterday's class we have seen constraint equation for super mesh. So in the same way here also we can write the constraint equation here. So again there are two options. You can write it by observation. Observation method is very simple. So check the super node and check the which node is having the higher potential of that voltage source, that is V2. So lower potential is at V1, that is minus. So simply you can write V2 minus V1 equal to 2 volts, or you can apply KVL. So you have to go into this, all these mess here. Okay, so if you mess with these things, you can write minus V1 minus 2 plus V2 equal to 0. So if you apply KVL clockwise, what I will get is minus V1 minus 2 plus V2 equal to 0. Or if you rewrite the things, what you will get is V1 plus 2 plus minus V2 equal to 0. Or it will be V2 minus V1 equal to 2. So I prefer this one. All of you please follow this one. So method is very simple. Check the voltage source, which positive polarity is connected to which node, that you check. It is connected to V2. You take that as first value in the equation, V2. Negative polarity is connected to V1, so you can take it as V1. V2 minus V1 equal to 2 volts, you can write. Okay, is that clear now? So these are the steps what we need to approach, and according to this we have to solve the given circuits. Okay, so yeah, is that clear? So if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, if you are asking any question, then only you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, please mute yourself. Okay, so I will go to the next slide then. So now here, can you identify the condition here? Is there any supernode? Yes. So here you can see that in the given circuit, how many nodes are there first? How many nodes?
Nodes.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Totally 5 nodes. Okay. Totally 5 nodes are there. N is equal to 5. Out of that, N minus 1 will be 4, which are the non-reference nodes, and one reference node, that is the ground. Okay. So ground is the reference node, right? So now what we understood is that you have to check, is there any voltage source? Is there any voltage source between any two, non-reference nodes? That means we have node number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You need to check, are you getting any voltage source between 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, or 1 and 4? Okay. Similarly, between 2 and 1, 2 and 3, then 2 and 4. Then similarly, 3 and 1, 3 and 2, 3 and 4, and 4 and 1, 4 and 2, 4 and 3. So we see that there are voltage sources, right? There are two voltage sources. One is independent voltage source. This is independent voltage source. This is dependent voltage source. Where independent voltage source is located, it is located between node 1 and node 2. So yes, we are getting the two a voltage source in between 1 and 2. So there is a one supernode, first supernode. Okay. Then is there any one more voltage source? Yes. This dependent voltage source, it is coming between 3 and 4. So these two together are forming the supernode. So what will be the first step now? So you have to remove the voltage sources from those two nodes and you have to club them. Okay. So if I rewrite, remove the voltage source and clubbing them. So I will remove first this 20-volt source. So what I will get? I will get they are combined at node 1 and node 2, right? So from node 1 I have two connections. One is with respect to 2 ohm resistor. So another is connected to this 3 ohm resistor, right? And from 2 I have a current source, of 10 amps, and here I have a 6 ohm resistor. And similarly, if I club 3 and 4, 3 and 4, so from 3 there are two branches going, one to the 6 ohm resistor, it is already connected, another one is towards a 4 ohm resistor. So all are grounded. And what about this fourth node? So from fourth node we have again two branches meeting, one to the 3 ohm resistor and another one is a 1 ohm resistor. It is connected to ground. So since here the direction of currents are not given, okay, so you can assume that this circuit is there. First, if you apply, first what you have to do, you have to apply KCL to first super node that is coming in between node 1 and 2. So you have to concentrate only on this. How many currents we can define? 1, 2, 3, 4 currents, right? Okay. So where it is getting connected and all, so that you have to define it here. Okay. So that is shown here in the next slide. So you can define the currents as per your assumptions. So here they have defined it as I1, I2, I3, and here it is I3, I5, I4, and I1. Okay. And later what you have to do, you have to include the voltage sources back and you have to apply the KVL. So if you apply KVL here, again it will be a problem. So just by observation, what you can write? You can write it as V1 minus V2 equal to 20. So this I can write it as V1 minus V2 equal to 20. And here what I can write? It is connected between third node and fourth node. Third is positive. I can write V3 minus V4 equal to 3Vx. But what is Vx? Vx is nothing but this voltage drop that is connected between node V1 and V4. So Vx, it is V1 minus V4, right, divided by 3. Okay. So this is how you have to define it here. Okay. So I would like you people to just to at least get familiar with the equations, how to write first. Then solving the mathematical equation is a different part. So you can solve it later. Okay. So is that clear to everyone? Okay. So is that clear to everyone here? So you can think about this, how to define I1, I2 and I3. I1 is between V1 and V4. So wherever I1 is there, you can write V1 minus V4 divided by 3. And I2 is what? V1 divided by 2. And I3 is what? The direction. Look into the direction. I3 is flowing from V3 to V2. So it will be V3 minus V2 divided by 6. Okay. So like that you have to define. So first you get familiar with the equations and circuit. Okay. And finalizing the equation and solving in the calculator is a different part. So first you have to get familiar with this, and don't read the problems, solve them. Okay. So I will be concluding the session here. If you don't have any questions, so if you have any questions, you may ask. Otherwise, I will conclude now. Okay. Okay. So, are there any questions now?